Hey everyone, it's Rihanna and welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to talk about one of my most anticipated films of 2018, Annihilation, directed by Alex Garland. Now this isn't a review for the film. I will say that I loved it. It was mind-bending. I love the production design, the acting, the characters. The whole entire concept just blew me away. I absolutely loved the film and I loved it so much I'm making this video for you guys. One of the main things I really loved about Annihilation is how original it was, but also how it reminded me a lot of some of my other favourite sci-fi films and TV shows. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. So here are 7 things that you should watch if you loved Annihilation. My first recommendation, of course, has to be Ex Machina, which was Alex Garland's first film. Now, originally, when I gave this film a watch on the first viewing, I wasn't its biggest fan. I didn't understand the hype around it, but on the second watch, I realised I was very, very wrong. Ex Machina follows a man who wins a competition to go to a private island and join this man Nathan in his research project. And his research project is this AI creation he has called Ava, played by Alicia Vikander. The film stars Donald Gleeson as this guy who's sort of nerdy, is really into artificial intelligence, is really smart, and also stars Oscar Isaac as Nathan, the man who created Ava. And as the film continues, we learn that Donald Gleeson's character starts to have feelings for Ava as he sort of goes into sessions with her because he's wanting her to pass the Turing test to see whether or not she could pass as human. And he also learns a very dark side to the artificial intelligence program that Nathan has been running. Now, the reason I recommend you see Ex Machina is obviously because it's another one of Alex Garland's films and because it shares so many great qualities with Annihilation. Annihilation has a very small cast of 4 to 5 people, whereas Ex Machina actually only has 3 sort of main characters throughout the entire film. Annihilation is based in the Shimmer, which is an isolated paradise scientific disaster. Ex Machina is based in an isolated house. Now here we have 2 very different settings, but Alex Garland does a great job of making you as an audience member feel isolated in this space. Ex Machina shares the intensities and intimacy with the characters that Annihilation does. It also shares the mind-bending, thought-provoking sort of themes that are going on also in Annihilation. It talks a lot about what it means to be human, as does Annihilation. You get the gist. They're by the same director, they have very similar themes. That's not to say that one's better than the other. I think they are both equally great films. You just need to watch Ex Machina. My second recommendation is an art house science fiction film starring Scarlett Johansson called Under the Skin. Now this is a film about a woman who drives around the coasts of Scotland picking up random men and luring them back to her house. If you've seen Annihilation, which I'm hoping you have, there are very big similarities between the ending scene of Annihilation and a lot of the scenes in Under the Skin. Under the Skin is slightly stranger, if you can get any stranger, than Annihilation because it is an art house film. It's very quiet, it doesn't say a lot dialogue-wise. However, it does have sort of a similar vibe to it. It's very sort of creepy, very unknowing, and just has some beautiful cinematography and a beautiful score, might I add. Christ, that thing is creepy. I just think Under the Skin is a very original sci-fi that will keep you thinking for days on end, like Annihilation is still racking my brain. I mean, I'm still thinking about Under the Skin, like 2 years on. 2 years on. My third recommendation isn't actually a film, it is a TV show, which is Orphan Black. Now, I may be a bit biased about this because Orphan Black is one of my favourite TV shows of all time, but for a good reason. Orphan Black is a sci-fi drama that follows a streetwise hustler named Sarah Manning as she sees this girl who looks exactly like her jump in front of a train and kill herself. Now Sarah takes this to her advantage and decides to steal the identity of this girl, but actually gets wrapped into a major human cloning conspiracy. Now the reason I am recommending you to watch Orphan Black is 1, because it's an amazing show, 2, because Tatiana Maslany is incredible as the main actors, I guess, and 3, because it talks a lot about human DNA and the manipulation of DNA. And what else can I think of that talks about DNA and the manipulation of DNA? Oh yeah, Annihilation. So yes, if you're into sci-fis that talk about DNA manipulation and how that is changing the world, then definitely you need to watch Orphan Black. You got to. I mean, there's 5 seasons, but it's totally worth it. My 4th recommendation is a bit of a weird one, and that is The Fountain, directed by Darren Aronofsky. If you've seen any other Darren Aronofsky films, then you know it's just going to be weird. But The Fountain follows a couple who are played by Rachel Weisz and Hugh Jackman as their lives span across different universes and different timelines. Now, it's been a while since I've seen The Fountain, so my memory's a bit sketchy, but all I can remember is that I was completely and utterly mind blown by this concept. It shares a lot of qualities with Annihilation because it only really has 2 main characters, and it talks about the way that time works in different ways. I must admit, The Fountain's a bit weirder than Annihilation, but I would recommend it for sci-fi fans, even though it's a bit more fantasy than sci-fi, but I would still recommend it because it is just as thought-provoking, if not more thought-provoking, than Annihilation. Recommendation number 5 is also a film that comes from Alex Garland. He was the writer on this film. Danny Boyle directed it. It is called Sunshine. Now, this film follows a team of international astronauts who have been sent on a dangerous mission to reignite the dying sun in 2057. The film stars the likes of Chris Evans, Cillian Murphy and Rose Byrne, and it's just one of those really, really intense, isolating sci-fi films. It is set in space, so obviously there's only one location, much similar to Annihilation. And again, Alex Garland works with a small cast of characters here, so you just know you're going to learn more about them than you would in any other sort of weird sci-fi film with 17 different main characters. Now, Sunshine isn't the most thought-provoking science fiction film, nor is it the best space science fiction film, but it does have a very, very dark undertone, which I think fans of Annihilation will really, really enjoy. It has some really cool, gory horror scenes and a great plot twist, so if you haven't seen Sunshine yet, definitely check it out. My number 6 pick is probably the least similar to Annihilation out of all of these films and TV shows, but I have to recommend The Double, directed by Richard Ayoade, starring Jesse Eisenberg and Mia Wasikowska. The Double follows a man named Simon whose sort of dull life is turned upside down when a new co-worker arrives at his federal government job. Now, this co-worker isn't just any old person, it's his exact double and replica, but also the opposite of him. This guy, James, is charismatic and good with women and funny, whereas Simon is sort of timid and just not at all confident in himself. Now, the reason I recommend The Double, if you liked Annihilation, is because obviously it deals with doubles of humans. There's obviously a scene that deals with that in Annihilation, and that's kind of what Annihilation's all about. It's DNA manipulation. In Annihilation, it's purely scientific, but in The Double, it's very much a mystery of how it came to be that Simon has a double named James. It's very kind of film noir, Blade Runner vibe, sort of science fiction, but it's very much a mystery film as well. Same as Annihilation, the film sort of deals with one character trying to sort of get to the bottom of a mystery to do with themselves. So, there's similarities. And my 7th and final pick for you guys, if you liked Annihilation, is Never Let Me Go, which is another film written by Alex Garland. The film revolves around 3 friends, Kathy, Ruth and Tommy, from their young childhood to adulthood, when they're brought up in a school that makes their students donate their organs. It's another one of those science fiction films that deals with the purpose of humanity and human cloning and all that jazz. Although Annihilation is proper sci-fi, like full-on sci-fi, Never Let Me Go is kind of the opposite. It is a sci-fi film, but it's very much based in the real world, which obviously Annihilation is too, but very much the shimmer is just batshit crazy, non-existent. Whereas in Never Let Me Go, you could definitely see this happening in the future. It could definitely happen. Both films deal with human relationships and how we are progressing as a human race, and I think those two match very, very well together, so definitely if you liked Annihilation, take a step backwards from all the weirdness and give Never Let Me Go a watch. It's a very emotional, teary film, but definitely worth a watch. It's very, very thought-provoking. So you are welcome for those 7 recommendations to watch if you enjoyed Annihilation. I know I did. I cannot wait to rewatch this film. I am still thinking about it days later, and I'm so excited to see what Alex Garland has for us in store for the future. If you have any other films that you think people would like if they liked Annihilation, please leave them down below in the comments, because I would be very interested as well, because I know I need to watch Solaris and Stalker, because loads of people have been talking about those films after Annihilation. And of course, if you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting on lots more videos very, very soon. All my social media links will be down below in the description if you want to come follow me. I am at rhiannatoria on everything. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye!